The Creator movie review. The Creator 2023 is directed by Gareth Edwards, and it's out in theaters right now, guys. I like this movie a lot. So, what is it about? It's about, it's a sci-fi film, and it's against the backdrop of a war between humans and robots with artificial intelligence. It's a war between us and the AI, right? A former soldier finds the secret weapon, a robot in the form of a young child. And I said this in my straight out of the theater reaction. Yeah, it's a mix between Man on Fire, a little bit Children of Men kind of thing, a little bit of Chappie and Elysium, all kind of ideas in there. It felt very much like a Blomkamp film. It stars John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Allison Janney, Ken Watanabe, and the young kid in this, Madeline Yuna Voiles, did a fantastic job. The acting in this is superb. The visuals in this are superb. It's a bit long though. It is 2 hours and 14 minutes, and on the first viewing, I felt that length. I felt that it was a bit long. Now, this is a tricky movie to talk about because I think it is one of the better movies of this month, and probably in contention for one of the better movies of the year. But is it a movie that is making me go, oh wow, that's mind-blowing? No, because it does have that story threads that does feel like other movies, right? Like we've seen some of these kinds of story tropes before. And I kind of, personally, I have to dock it for that. But like, as I said, the visuals in this are fantastic. It takes a little bit of time to get emotionally invested. I found about halfway through, I was like, okay, we're seeing people crying about their situation, these characters. I should also feel that, but since I don't know exactly where this story is going, other than I'm sure that somewhere along the lines, he's going to sacrifice himself to save the kid or something like that, that he can't kill the AI because he was sent there to, dispatch it, right? You see people crying, but it's like, it took a while for me to get emotionally involved in it. And it had some great ideas. It was like the city designs, the major city designs. You got shades of like Blade Runner 2049 and Tron, almost like Tron Legacy kind of aesthetic. And I think in the long run, this is going to have that cult classic kind of thing. I don't know how well it's going to fare at the box office, but I would say, I think upon repeat viewings, the world building in this is going to pay off. This is going to be something that people will talk about for a while now, but it's not going to have like a big emotional impact. So know that, like it's not going to, you're not going to be coming out of it going, ooh, man, that was the best thing ever. It's going to be one of those ones where you're like, ooh, yeah, actually, I did like what I saw there. It's going to be like one of those reactions. And the more that you think about it, I think people will be like, yeah, James, it's totally worthwhile. So let's go in and take a look at some of the early score sheet for this. Cinematography and score are out of a possible 1 point each. So cinematography, we'll get to that. Acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Let's talk about the acting. Ken Watanabe, John David Washington there was fantastic, and the little kid was fantastic. So you got more than two performances in there, and Allison Janney also was really good in there. Directing, Gareth Edwards, he delivers here. It's possible I could give him a full 2 points, so I may come back to revisit that. It's the story. It's got an interesting premise, so that's 0.5. And as I said, it doesn't have that emotional punch towards the end, so I may come back to revisit the part of the story. Most people will be talking about the visuals in this, right? Like, that's the number one thing here. And the acting. Are people talking about the story? Yeah, AI is very topical right now, but was the movie really about AI? It had AI in it. And here's the other thing about the story. Because it was dealing with these subject matters of like AI, should we really be trusting them and such like that, I expected a twist in here somewhere. Something like that would be truly mind blowing, that would make you go, oh, that's what this is really about. Something that would shock you, kind of like um, uh, Space Odyssey, right? Or like that. It would be kind of like, oh, wow, wow, that's uh, mm, like maybe like Planet of the Apes kind of thing. Like, oh, we finally learned that they were on Earth the entire time. There was something like that. I was thinking that it was going to have something like that in mind. Like maybe this is all just happening in a computer simulation somewhere or something like that. But no, they play it straight up as a normal kind of story, and yeah, it's kind of like the story it's not the, I guess it sort of is the weakest part of it. Let's go over the tomato meter and see what people are saying about it. 67% by critics, 75% by the audience, and interesting, it's not as highly see, going into this, you heard things like, oh, Creator's the best sci-fi film in years, Creator's the best movie we've seen in decades. It's like, whoa, guys. Sci-fi film in years? I think Avatar 2 would have to say something about that. Chicago Reader liked it. Let's take a look at what they said. Gareth Edwards, the creator, is a derivative but dazzling sci-fi epic. So they put in a little bit of a shade there, right? Derivative. Lindsay, or Associated Press says, even if it is a somewhat convoluted and silly mishmash of familiar tropes story-wise, and sci-fi cliches, it still evokes a feeling of something fresh, something novel, something exciting to experience and behold. Yeah, and there's some comedy mixed in here too. That's refreshing. It's not like MCU comedy. It's just dialogue and people reacting to sometimes how audacious the scenarios could be. I missed the wrong turn, or I got something like that. Some like people were laughing collectively in the theater while watching this. So know that is in there too. There's some levity to this perhaps darker subject matter of this guy that's got to kill a kid robot kind of thing. And where does it go? Does it have some fantastical elements in the story that are kind of a little too Deus ex machina? Yes. And those are the tropes that I'm sure that some of these people are talking about. So let's take a look at some people who didn't like it. Rolling Stone. There is the slightly conspiratorial sense that the team behind this trip down movie memory lane simply fed the scripts of various canonized sci-fi epics into an AI program and waited to see what sort of composite is spit out. So there's somebody taking a shot at the AI technology producing scripts, which is going to happen to us sooner or later, but whatever. No, I don't agree with that. The Wall Street Journal, where the creator fails in its script, which after some imaginative world building in the first act, careens first into joyless dairying do and then into heavy-handed political allegory. Yeah, the movie does take time to pause and go over some ideas, and you wish that sometimes they would dwell on those ideas instead of going back to the familiar tropes. Like there's this robot and this guy that have a relationship, and it's kind of like, yeah, that's Blade Runner 2049, but I would prefer, like, yeah, well, show me more of that. Why are we just running away from them now? Oh, wait, they're gone now. It's like, oh, yeah, wait a minute, we still got an hour to go in this movie? Oh my God. Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of an experience. But it will be, I think, in the long run, as I said, that it'll become a cult hit. It'll be one that'll be on people's marks. They'll be like, yeah, out of the movies in 2023, the creator will be one that you should probably check out. It'll have some familiar story beats in there for sure, but visually and other elements in there, acting wise, it is worth checking out. And that's pretty much where I land. So let's go back and try to figure out what my final score is for this movie. Cinematography, I'm going to give cinematography a full point out of its possible 1 point, um, because it's there. The score, the soundtrack. I can't hum any pieces from it. It did suit the movie, though. It didn't detract. Is it one that I'm going to go out and buy? No. So I can't give any more points to that. Watchability factor. This is the key one here. If you're a sci-fi fan, you will want to watch it once. If you're a Gareth Edwards fan, then yeah, you want to check this out. I think it does have repeat viewings in it, so I'll give that 1.5 out of 2 points. I don't know if I want to own it on Blu-ray, but I'll definitely. It does have a rewatchability factor for all of those elements, all of those story elements that I was talking about. 7.5 for the creator. Because the story was lacking, I can't give much more for directing, and I can't give the story a 1.5 because of all the elements that I was saying. It does pay off in the end, though, guys. It does, and it's hard for me. Can I go up to an 8 out of 10? If somebody were to, it's tough. It truly is, because there are other story elements in there that I do like. So I think I will bump up the story to 1.5, and we will end with an 8 out of 10 for The Creator, directed by Gareth Edwards. And I feel good about that one, because I do think it'll be something that will resonate with people as time goes on. But if you're going out there right now to see one of the best movies of the year, just know you're probably not going to be leaving the theater going, I gotta tell other people about this. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's not like that. This is one that'll make you go, did I like it? There was some really good stuff in there. And I think you saw me go through my thought process here in this review about all of that. So 8 out of 10 for The Creator, guys. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. You're watching Mirror Domains. Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, join us on the weekdays around 10:30 a.m. We do a movie news show, and they're all my social media handles that you can follow, where we do stories and behind the scenes stuff, and on the TikTok and Instagram. We do a lot of gaming over on Twitch, Street Fighter 6, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Tomb Raider, lots of really cool stuff. So hey, if you like this stuff and you like talking about movies, come join us here on Mirror Domains.